From the smallest local circuits all the way up to the main card at K1, the real-life Chun-Li, Monamura, has kicked her way through every seasoned veteran they put in front of her, and she's still sitting pretty on an undefeated throne. But in the hardcore fight circles, there's one hypothetical that just refuses to die. What happens if today's Monamura steps in there with the retired killer who used to own this division? I'm talking about Akari. Mention that name to any old-school fan, and trust me, they know exactly what you mean. Here's the thing. If Monamura is a tactical genius who wins with distance and counters, then Prime Akari was a straight-up Terminator, someone who ran people over on pure physical talent and terrifying knockout power. Two completely different animals. Akari trained under former standout Erika Kimura, and let me tell you, that woman's gym was no joke. She turned pro at just 16. Within a few short years, she'd racked up an elite 13-3 record. But here's the part that blows my mind. In the women's lighter weight classes, where one punch power is basically a myth and almost everything goes to the judges, she finished 10 of those wins by straight-up KO. 10. That crazy finishing rate came from her awkward, nasty southpaw style. In the ring, Akari was relentless. She literally did not know how to take a step back. And her kill shot? The left body kick. Because of that open stance matchup, her left leg had a clean, wide-open highway straight to the opponent's liver. I've lost count of how many fighters ate just one of those kicks and completely folded. Guard collapsing, dropping to the canvas, curling up from that awful liver pain. And don't let her 5'4" frame fool you for a second. Once that kick threw off your rhythm, Akari would walk right through your punches, wrap both hands behind your neck, and drag you into the clinch. And then came the knees. Relentless, inescapable, hammering into your chin and your gut until you dropped. In 2021, at just 18, she won the Rise Next Queen tournament, and the whole Japanese combat sports world basically put her on a pedestal overnight. But behind that highlight reel, total burnout. After 2 failed title runs, 5 years of brutal punishment, weight cuts most people couldn't even imagine, and God knows how many bone-on-bone collisions, the girl who pushed her body past every limit finally broke. At 21, buried under the pressure, she quietly walked away. And honestly, when you hear the full story, it's kind of heartbreaking. So, facing a savage brawler like that, could Monamura keep her perfect record? Her 4 pro fights actually give us a pretty good answer. In her debut against Ai Ogiwara, who came out swinging and tried to blitz her from the opening bell, Mona didn't blink. At just 1:30 into the first round, with all that pressure coming at her, she calmly spotted that split-second gap. A right hook chained perfectly into a straight left. Lights out. A flawless counter KO to announce she'd arrived. What a way to introduce yourself. Then came the experienced, ridiculously durable veteran Yuka. And this is where Mona turned distance control into a genuine weapon. She used high-volume kicks to pick Yuka apart from the outside, over and over. Didn't matter how high the veteran's fight IQ was, or how iron her chin was, Yuka spent the whole night swinging at air, completely smothered, never once touching Mona's guard. That cold execution got even nastier in fight number 3. Against the super tough Satoko Ozawa, Mona put on an absolute clinic with high kicks. And these weren't just for points. They shut down Ozawa's punching lanes completely and sliced her forehead wide open. Even with blood pouring down her face and Ozawa clearly wanting to go out on her shield, the doctor had no choice but to step in and wave it off. Fight 4, the one that really locked in the undefeated streak, was against Yoonji Cho, this explosive, freakishly athletic South Korean MMA fighter. And facing Cho's aggression, Mona made a smart call. She refused to brawl. Instead, she put on a distance management masterclass. Her sidekick became the whole rhythm of the fight. She knew Cho wanted to close the gap and turn it into a dogfight, so she kept her parked right at the tip of those long kicks. Every time Cho tried to angle inside, Mona short-circuited her with jabs and sidekicks. Cho showed real grit and gas tank, working all that lateral movement to find an opening, but Mona's defense was almost surgical. She just didn't leave a single crack. In the end, Mona took the unanimous decision on cleaner striking and tighter tactics. No knockout this time, but honestly, this fight proved her ice-cold composure better than any KO ever could. So those 4 fights tell us one thing loud and clear. Mona Kimura's got an ice-cold brain, surgically precise counters, and the kind of distance control that can shut anybody out. Now put Monamura, a pure defensive counter-striker who fights with her head, in the same ring as Akari, a finisher built on nothing but violent output. This isn't just some technical matchup. This is a full-blown stylistic collision. And the biggest X factor? The stance blind spot. Mona's orthodox versus Akari's southpaw. Here's the problem. Mona's natural instinct is to slide to her right, and that puts her directly in the kill zone of Akari's left liver kick. Yikes. But flip it around. Akari's offense is vicious, sure, but her defense is sloppy. When she loads up on a big shot, her chin is just hanging out there. If Mona catches that half second, one straight right ends the night. Except, and this is the catch, Akari never gives you time to line that up. She'll happily eat a punch just to get inside. So if these two ever actually met, I don't think it'd come down to who has better technique. I think it'd come down to whose obsession is stronger. Prime Akari fought like she'd burned the boats behind her. Her southpaw angles were literally built to dismantle a conventional guard, and she didn't care one bit about taking one to the face. As long as that left kick landed, she'd already won. That's a self-destructive philosophy, plain and simple. And against someone that irrational, the first thing Mona has to figure out isn't how to attack. It's how to keep her breathing steady under that kind of crushing pressure. Because Akari's real weapon was fear. That little voice going, "Why isn't this girl afraid to get hurt?" The second Mona doubts her own footwork. The moment there's even a flicker of hesitation, Akari swarms her like a shark that just smelled blood. So there's no clean textbook answer here. Akari is extreme violence, willing to burn her own body to ash just to keep marching forward. Mona is pure rationality, someone who's completely tamed her body to pick people apart with distance and timing. And at the end of the day, this fight is really about one thing: who drags who into their world first. So what do you think? Who takes it? Let's argue about it in the comments.